What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to your Week 7 LCC Gameday podcast. We're getting halfway through the season and it's rolling in to be a good one here. Week 7. Got here with my co-host Eddie, and we are going to break down everything that happened last week and what is yet to come this week for Week 7. So let's start out by going over our matchups from last week. All right. Yeah, you can go ahead, Eddie. Take it.
Peanut Butter Cup beat I don't know if I want to do it, man. Give me more Lost. Levitar Lobos with the upset over third leg. There's yet to be a score change. I'm beating Detroit Bad Boys by 1 after Melvin Gordon only had 1 point and got fucking benched.
Before I move on here, I know they talked about this in the After Dark podcast as well. I don't know why, but I got a notification today saying that they're actually going to start Melvin Gordon this coming week.
Huh?
Yep.
Dude, they need to figure out their shit.
Dude. The Broncos offense is just about as confusing as the Panthers offense, I tell you. Good God. All right, moving on.
Jiu-Jitsu Jesus beat Protect the Booty. Buck Your Mother kind of beat the fuck out of Afternoon Delights. And then Peyton beat Eastside Brawlers pretty handily as well.
Handily. I like your verbiage.
Handily, dude. I had a pretty good SAT score. Burrow's Body Count on a winning streak. Let's go, Zach. Shuttlecocks beat the dog shit out of Once a Janitor. Spurs beat Hunter Champions. Yeah. Hunter Champions is in a heated battle with who's is it Charles? Billy, you and Charles are like fighting for Devontae Adams right now. As we speak. BP beat Roebuck Leprechauns, Mr. 295 beat Steel Curtain, and Barnyard beat Austin the Sandstorm Troopers. So yeah, BP might stop talking randomly out of nowhere while he's breaking down a matchup tonight, and that's probably because Charles will have countered the trade again. So
yeah, we're on attempt number 4 right now. So
yeah. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully we have a solution by the end of this thing.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be at least another 24 hours, sadly. So, all right.
Yeah, how close were you to having him officially? 2 hours away?
About an hour and a half. An hour and a half, he would have been mine. And then Charles had to, butt in.
Yeah.
He stuck his third leg in the middle of it.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
All right, I'm making some ground on you, man. Our LCC pick'em. I'm 3 games behind you, catching up. Man. I started out shitty, and the last couple weeks I've been pretty good, so making some headway.
Yeah, I'm very sad about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so our injuries from last week, we had a few notable ones, a lot of offensive injuries. I think week 6 is going to be hip injuries galore, hand injuries galore, and hammies galore. So Marquise Brown out with a foot fracture. Jalen Thompson, yeah, I know you're sad about that. Jalen Thompson questionable with a rib injury. Lamar Jackson hip injury. Mark Andrews, one of Lamar's favorite targets, knee injury. All of these guys questionable. Baker may come back. Yeah, for real. Even if Baker is healthy, we might start Sam.
Yep. Yeah.
Even if Baker's healthy, we might be seeing Sam for the first time in action. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we sign Cam again somehow. The Panthers are weird.
I was talking about Cam Nugent.
Oh. I don't know, man. Being a Panthers fan's hard. Jamar Chase, hip injury. CeeDee Lamb, hip injury. Pick your favorite receiver. He's probably got a hip injury this week. Russell Wilson, hamstring injury. Aaron Rodgers with a thumb. Saquon with a shoulder. And Kenny Pickett coming off a concussion. So a lot of offensive injuries. There was a few defensive injuries as well, but of course none that mattered as much because we didn't have them on rosters here in our league. So with that being said, let's move on to game of the week. You ready to get this thing started?
Let's fucking go, dude.
Here we go.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate. Yeah. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were...
All right. Game of the week, week 7.
Billy or BP, I can't wait to listen to the podcast tomorrow when it's posted and see what songs you picked for their teams, because you were just like vibing hard, like to that to the sound drop. And I can't, y'all don't know, I can't hear anything on my side, so like I don't know what.
Yeah,
Billy
he
was
doesn't hear
dancing
any of the sound that comes out of this. So. But anyways, yeah, you're gonna enjoy those. I actually talked to both of the guys and got them to submit these, so it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really fun to listen to, hopefully. All right, so yeah, longtime friends, Billy, Ray, of course, going against Zach, Burrow's body count. Both of these guys have had very interesting years. Okay, so we've actually not expected a lot out of Billy, but we expected a lot out of Zach, and they've kind of had reverse seasons so far. Both of these guys not playing too bad. I know Billy's actually starting to dismantle his team one piece at a time. I understand frustration sets in, but I really think this week might be a good matchup. It's going to be a fun one to watch, a fun one to listen to. Let's get it started.
All right. Let's start with the quarterback matchup. Burrow's body count obviously has Joe Burrow. And then Detroit Bad Boys has Zach Wilson, who he had a really good first week back from injury, and then last week was sort of average, and then he was really bad against Green Bay. Fantasy-wise, he only threw for 110 yards. Unfortunately for Zach Wilson, I don't think it gets any easier for him because he's playing Denver, and for some reason, games against Denver just turn into field goal fests. So I'm going to go Joe Burrow in that matchup for sure, especially Joe Burrow against Atlanta.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, putting up similar numbers to PJ Walker.
It's not
I mean, that's
not a good comparison you want.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow going against Atlanta. I think I got to take Joe Burrow in that one, 100%. At running back, Zach starting Eno Benjamin, the backup for James Conner in Arizona. Don't do that shit; it's contagious.
Don't do that shit. Contagious.
And Billy's starting Melvin Gordon at running back, who we talked about a little bit earlier in the podcast. Melvin Gordon will actually be starting this week, so they say.
Fucking way.
So they say.
Dude, says it. Like, oh my god, I'm reading the article right now.
He's coming off a 1-point game. Hey, that's no worse than Landon Dickerson coming down your throat. But
God, I love Joe Buck. He's my spirit animal.
Joe Buck is crazy. But
down your throat.
I would have to upload that at the end of this podcast or something so they understand.
Yeah, you got to. I'm sure everybody's seen that.
So out of this matchup, I really don't know who to take. I mean, I guess Eno Benjamin. I don't know, man. That's a toss up, and that might be the game changer here. Which one of these guys shows up? I'm gonna take. Ooh, I'm gonna take Eno. I'm take
Um,
Eno Benjamin.
I'm gonna take Melvin Gordon. I don't think he might find the end zone, but the Broncos don't score touchdowns, so I don't imagine that's gonna happen. Um, and then
Oh
Thursday
boy,
night game for Benjamin. I don't like either of these. I'm gonna lean Melvin Gordon though, barely, just barely.
just
At wide
barely.
receiver, what? Yeah, just barely. A wide receiver, we got Jamar Chase for Burrow's body count. Um, he's been up and down this week. He's dropped 256 bombs, sprinkled in a couple games below 20 as well. And then we're going Amari Cooper. It's been a similar story for him, but his bad games have been more extreme. Like Jamar Chase is still involved a little bit when he has a bad game. Amari Cooper is just liable to disappear. He has a really favorable matchup against that Baltimore defense that's been like worse than expected this year. Jamar Chase has also got a really good matchup. Golly, dude, Baltimore. Jamar Chase is facing the second worst pass defense, and Amari Cooper's facing the fourth worst pass defense. So they may both go off. I'm just going to lean Jamar Chase against Atlanta just because Jamar Chase's off games are better than Amari Cooper's off games.
I like the boom potential that Jamar Chase has. However, I know that Amari Cooper has had some single-digit performances. I realize, but I think that he has the potential to be more consistent. Like if you look at his games, Amari Cooper's games, he has 4 games with 28 plus. Go to Jamar Chase, he has 2 games with 28 plus, and they were big boom games, but then they were 10 points less on the ones he did not get 28 or more. So with that being said, I think Amari Cooper actually gets more targets, and it's sad to say that in a Jamar heavy offense with Joe Burrow behind under center. I like Jamar Chase, but I'm gonna lean Amari Cooper here.
All
I like
right.
defensive lineman. We got Bradley Chubb for Burrow's body count going against Darren Payne. Darren Payne's been pretty consistent this year. I like the upside of Bradley Chubb, and especially going against the Jets offense. Zach Wilson has been hit a few times in the last couple of weeks, and that has been one recipe that has given him some bad numbers in the last couple of weeks. I think the protection doesn't exactly hold up as well as what he would like. I'm going to take Bradley Chubb in this one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go De'Aaron Payne just by a little bit. I actually like. I know Zach Wilson's been hit a few times. You know what? I'm going De'Aaron Payne just because I want to. I don't have any lock.
All right.
Homeboys had a couple sacks in the last few games. Plus, I watch all the Commanders games because I'm still a Commander fan at heart. So he's been playing pretty well. I like him.
Just because I want to.
At linebacker, Burrow's body count's going with Kamu Grugier-Hill, and Detroit Bad Boys going with Devin Bush. I am not a fan of Devin Bush, so I'm going to go Kamu. I'm not a huge fan of Kamu either, but he's put up a game with 67, so hey, he may do it again. So I'm going to go Kamu Grugier-Hill.
Honestly, I do not
They
know
both
what to
suck.
think about this.
Yeah,
these guys are both. I would hate to have either one of these guys in my starting lineup. Just to be honest, I'd play the waivers honestly to figure out what would do there. For Zach, start Kenny Moore or Nazir Adderley. I mean,
bro, you know how bad Nasir Adderley's been this year?
Yeah, but he has more games in the 30s than Kamu Grugier-Hill.
Yeah, well, what are you do.
Yeah, exactly. Detroit Bad Boys. I'll take Devin Bush in that one. Honestly,
Okay.
playing Miami, pass heavy.
Mm,
Tua's coming back. I like it.
yeah.
Um,
He's gonna give to another concussion, send him into CTEville.
Jesus, good lord. Sorry if you're listening to this, Tua.
Tua listens to our podcast.
Oh
He
yeah,
does
you
have
know he does. You know he does.
He's got Alzheimer's.
Hey, defensive back. We got for Detroit Bad Boys, Quadre Diggs. Been fairly consistent. I'd say he's had a couple of down games, but going against Justin Reed, who has been Mr. 20. Good God. If you need 20 points, call Justin Reed.
I need 20 points.
You better go get Justin Reed from Zach before the trade deadline's over, because he's going to guarantee you a 20-point game. Meanwhile, Quadre Diggs is probably going to give you a 15 or 30-point game. So, with that being said, going against the Chargers offense, they're going to be airing it out a lot. So I expect Quadre Diggs to be in the backfield getting a lot of tackles back there. So I'm going to take Quadre Diggs in that matchup. What you think?
I will tell you in 7 seconds. I'm checking some stats for Justin Reed. Okay. I'm just wondering why he doesn't get a lot of wait, no, is this the wrong person? No, it's the right person. Well, why is it on he hasn't what? I was just wondering why Justin Reed doesn't have a lot of points. And he plays 100% of the snaps. Interesting. Golly, I don't know. I'm gonna lean Justin Reed. Um, no, I'm not. I'm going Quandre Diggs. Yeah. These players that like in these matchups, some of them just aren't like playing great, but they both like are like every down safeties, so they're both liable to like break off 30 or 40. So I'm gonna go. I guess I'm just gonna lean Quandre Diggs. And then at flex, Detroit Bad Boys going with Patrick Queen, who, by the way, in my 2-year career in the LCC, I've faced Patrick Queen twice, maybe 3 times. And Patrick Queen has had like averaging like in the 20s, like low 20s last year. Yeah, he averaged 22. Both times he played me last year, he went the fuck off. And then this past week when he played me, he went the fuck off. But I expect this week against Cleveland him to drop a 12 because he's not playing me. So I'm going to take Nick Bolton, who is flexing for Burrow's body count.
Yeah, Nick Bolton's been a stud this year.
And also, I will say this too: Patrick Reed he had 44 this week, and that was with a sack and a fumble recovery. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't rack up a bunch of tackles.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking Nick Bolton as well. So with that being said, everything together, I don't think it's going to be a very very wide margin, honestly. I like Burrow's body count in this one just because the upside of his players, he's got a lot of high potential, but a lot of inconsistency. I think that was part of Zach's problem. I know he went off last week, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen this week? So with that being said, I mean, Billy's team, he has built a lot of consistency with his players, other than Melvin Gordon. uh, I like what he has going. I mean, I know it's not the best team in the world by no means, but it could get things done if it had to, especially this week against an inconsistent Zach team. So I'm looking forward to see what this game brings to us.
Yeah, man. Golly. I think I'm going to go Burrow's body count slightly. I think it's a really good game, but I think Zach stays in the win column, and I think in 3 weeks we'll be talking about Zach getting into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold prediction, but I like it. I'll take Zach in this one as well.
Sweet.
All right. So that's game of the week. Let's move on to week 7. Levitard actually having an upset from last week. Start out with quarterbacks. So we have Tua coming off an injury, going against Justin Fields, who was also on Roebuck Leprechaun's team last week. I know Matthew Stafford's on a bye. So with that matchup being said, Justin Fields is questionable. I'll take Tua. Damian Pierce, who's been an absolute stud this year, going against Antonio Gibson. I like Damian Pierce. Mike Williams going against Jacoby Myers. I'm taking Mike Williams. It's not looking good for Levitard. Montez Sweat going against Rasheem Green. I'm taking Montez Sweat. Jordan Brooks going against Jermaine Pratt. I'm taking Jordan Brooks. Jalen Petrie going against Brandon Jones. That's the closest one yet. I like Jalen Petrie has been doing really good, though. I'm taking Jalen Petrie. And Minka, as long as he's playing, going against Grant Delpit, who's been pretty solid, honestly. Ooh. What was this last matchup? Minka plays, of course I'm taking Minka. I gotta take Minka. Alright, so that's 100% my guess is Pat over Alex. Sorry, Alex.
Right. So all of what you just said makes sense. But can we talk about, like, Pat's team has underperformed. Pat, he's like he's due. Like, he's had some players get hurt and some more unfortunate things, but his team is due, and I think Pat puts up 210 game. I just don't think Levitard Lobos has enough to keep up with some of his players on bye. Justin Fields is questionable. He got rocked on that shoulder multiple times this past week. So I'm gonna go Roebuck, but I think he's just too much for Levitard to keep up with.
Yeah, I definitely think that Pat's team needs to pick it up. I like a lot of his players. I know he has he has a really good team this year. It's tough to say that half of his starters that were on his lineup last week are on his bench right now. I mean, I guess it's partly because of matchups, but Pat's team just needs to catch his traction. I mean, he's spinning tires right now.
Hey, by the way, who'd you pick? Detroit Bad Boys or Zach? I can't remember.
Zach.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to the next matchup, which is Afternoon Delights versus Once a Janitor. All right, so we'll start with the quarterback matchup. Once a Janitor's got Daniel Jones. He's been very consistent, high 20s, low 30s, or he'll probably stay around 30, 35 this week. He has a favorable matchup against Jacksonville. Their pass rank's not the best. I think it all depends on if, like, Saquon plays. If Saquon's healthy, that always helps Daniel Jones in the passing game. Afternoon Delights is rolling with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, I'm taking him. We don't have to discuss it. Once a Janitor's got Tyler Algier. I guess as long as Cordero's hurt, he's still going to be involved. He had 15 rush attempts last week. Just couldn't really get anything going. I think he's very touchdown dependent right now. So I know Will's hoping he gets in the end zone. Versus Nick Chubb at Baltimore. Baltimore's got a pretty stout run defense. I think I'll still take Nick Chubb in that matchup. At wide receiver, Once a Janitor's going with Taysom Hill, who had a monster week 5. He had 112 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in week 5.
Oh boy.
So I think again, like Will's got a couple players where they are very, like it's very boom or bust, and that's going up against DJ Moore. Oh God, I'm gonna go Taysom Hill.
Against DJ
Just
Moore.
just because DJ Moore, that poor son of a gun,
What if Sam Darnold plays this week?
he's not going to.
They're saying he is.
What they're saying that he's ready to go. He practiced for the first time today and he's ready to go.
Well, they're saying Baker is questionable and Sam is a full participant in practice.
If Sam Darnold plays, I'll go DJ Moore. That's my qualifier because they have that relationship from last year. I think they had sex one time too. A defensive line. Keep going. A defensive line. Once the janitor started, Kenny Clark. Afternoon Delights has Dexter Lawrence. I think Dexter Lawrence is going to absolutely obliterate Trevor Lawrence, and nothing would make me happier. So I'm going to go Dexter Lawrence. At linebacker, Will's got Drew Tranquil. Still salty about the fact that I didn't pick him up whenever I wanted to. I hesitated, and then Will got him. I think he's playing really well. He's kind of like become one of the leaders of that defense in Los Angeles. And Afternoon Delights rolling out with Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd's had a pretty good year. I think he's going to have a good game against New York, especially if Saquon plays. I'm going to lean Devin Lloyd in that matchup, just by a little bit. I just think he's better. At
Just
safety, just a wee bit better. Do you know what it's like to not be able to sing your grandchildren a lullaby?
Stop it. Stop it. I can't.
At
I
safety,
can't.
Afternoon Delights is rolling with Von Bell. Once a Janitor is rolling with double cornerbacks. Charvarius Ward. You know what Charvarius Ward sounds like? It sounds like it sounds like one of the names that Key and Peele used for their Pro Bowl skit.
Jarvis Wood, the Ohio State University.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Von Bell. And then at flex, we got Anthony Brown from Once a Janitor. Don't really know what the appeal is with starting him versus Isaiah Simmons, who has had a pretty bad year as well. I'm gonna go Anthony Brown just because I don't like Isaiah Simmons at all.
Anthony Brown, Brown University.
All right, I'm gonna go Afternoon Delights.
This man has 4 people with the last name Brown on his roster. Anthony Brown, Noah Brown, Jayon Brown.
Who are you picking, man?
Oh, sorry. Afternoon Delights.
Travarius Washing Machine Jr.
The Afternoon Delights.
All right,
Sorry,
we
I
gotta
did-
move on.
I
We
did
spent
my
way
own
too
sound
much
drop
time
there.
on this slide.
Yep. Next.
Oh shit! I gotta put in. Wait, we both.
All right. Next matchup. This is gonna be a good one. The Spurs. First, give me more. Give me more has a running back on a bye this week.
Give me
He also has a safety on a bye this week. So, if DeAndre Swift will be plugged into his lineup, and if he plugs Justin Simmons or Troy Anderson, I'm assuming Justin Simmons, into his lineup, it may even plug Jamal Williams, honestly, if DeAndre Swift doesn't play. Either way, we got Trevor Lawrence going against Kyler Murray. I think I got to take Kyler Murray. We got Christian McCaffrey going against whoever. Doesn't matter. Christian McCaffrey. Mike Evans, a receiver, going against Travis Kelce. So this is going to be a good one. Especially with the all the defensive backs that the Panthers are lacking this week. J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, and C.J. Henderson are all questionable with injuries. it gives Mike Evans a big window to open up with. And Travis Kelce is just being Travis Kelce this year. He's just insane. I like, matchup wise, I like Mike Evans. I think he's going to have a really big opportunity. So I'm going to take Mike Evans. At defensive line, we have DeForest Buckner going against DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence has been pretty good the last couple weeks. Going against Chicago, Justin Fields gets hit a lot. And he's already hurt, so if he goes down, the backup quarterback's probably not going to be near as mobile as Justin Fields. I like DeMarcus Lawrence in that matchup. Wait, what?
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at week 8. Shit.
He's playing Detroit.
Yep.
I think
my
everything
bad.
you said still stands for Detroit.
I guess that works. Yeah. Same thing. Just change everything to the Lions instead of the Bears. Oh my.
Dumbass.
Linebacker Quincy Williams going against Pete Werner. I like Pete. Texas Pete. Chuck Clark against Deshaun Elliott. Deshaun Elliott's been actually really good. Deshaun Elliott's dropped a 71 and a 51 bomb the last few games. Yeah. Ooh. Chuck Clark's Mr. Consistent. That's tough, man. I like Chuck Clark. I don't think Deshaun Elliott can keep that pace. All right, and that means at flex. I'm not sure who Jameson's going to flex, but either way, he's going against Derrick Henry. I don't know if anybody he has is good enough for Derrick Henry. So I got to take Derrick Henry. Dude, the offense for Cam's team, it's hard to beat that, man. The defense for Jameson's team, pretty good, but he's got a bye. I'm going to take Cam in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cam as well. I just don't think Give Me More's going to have enough on his bye week.
Yep, I agree. All right, go ahead with the next one.
You want to do the next one since the one after that's your game?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, we got Eastside Brawlers with Jared Goff going against Derek Carr for Protect the Booty. I like Derek Carr in this one because he's going against Houston. The matchup for Jared Goff is going against Dallas. I definitely would take Derek Carr in that one. Kenneth Walker, who has been really good for Seattle. Excuse me, guys. Been really good for Seattle since the injuries. It's not been fun for Seattle this season with injury bug, but what was that? That was Key and Peele, wasn't it? Stop playing Key and Peele. All right, Kenneth Walker's going against Kenyon Drake, I guess. Yikes. He had a big week last week. Kenneth Walker. Wide receiver, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown going against Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett had a very poor week last week. We were expecting a lot out of him from the previous couple weeks. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown in this one. Just coming back off an injury. Let's see what he's got. Alex Highsmith, who's been really hot this year. Going against Cameron Jordan. I like Highsmith. Linebacker, we got Zaire Franklin, who has been really good this year. I really like Zaire Franklin, no matter who he's really playing. Going against CJ Mosley, who's also been a stud. This one's going to swing the matchup. I like both of these guys. With that being said, oh man. I'm going to take CJ Mosley because I think with the way Russell Wilson has sucked this year and not knowing what they're going to do on offense, I think CJ Mosley is going to have some opportunities to force some turnovers against the Broncos. Zaire Franklin's going to have to worry about taking down Derrick Henry about 17 times, and he's probably going to get trucked about half of them. So, what?
There's a video on Twitter. It says Russell Wilson, let's ride. And then it says the ride, and it's a boat that gets flipped over in the lake. Go ahead.
At safety, we have Xavier Woods going against Jalen Hawkins. Jalen Hawkins has been pretty solid recently. I'm not sure who he is. I've never really heard of him until now. I'm picking Jalen Hawkins over Xavier Woods because he's been up and down, up and down, up and down. At flex, we have Javon Holland going against who's projected booty flexing? Oh, DeAndre Hopkins is back. We might have DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver again, other than Tyler Lockett. And he's either flexing Derek Stingley or Josie Jewell. I like Josie Jewell if he flexes Josie Jewell. I'm going to take either one of those guys. So with that being said, it's practically a pretty even matchup. I like Eastside just marginally in this one. I mean, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like one of those 180 to 170 games. But I got Eastside.
I'm taking Eastside as well. He's let me down a couple times, but I don't think he will. All right, moving on. We got BP versus Hunter of Champions. So BP's without his complete life support of Josh Allen this week. So he's going with Taylor Heineke, which I actually am a fan of. I think he's ready to go. I think he felt slighted that they went out and got Captain Carson, Commander Carson. And so I think he has a good game, even though he's facing Green Bay's defense. And he's going up against Justin Herbert, who, by the way, fun fact, became the only quarterback to throw for more than 50 attempts and not have a touchdown because he was playing Denver. That's how it goes. I think he has a bounce-back game against Seattle. Seattle's defense, not very good. I'm going to go Justin Herbert. Running back, Jonathan Taylor, still questionable.
It's either going to be Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, or Deion Jackson, whichever one.
BP's starting a Colts running back. And then
Yep.
Hunter of Champions is starting Raheem Mostert. He was limited today. Raheem Mostert, last 3 weeks, he's had 15 carries or more. Just because, let's see, Raheem Mostert's playing Pittsburgh. Yeah, golly. I just can't go against Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to assume Jonathan Taylor's playing, so I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, even if he's not, I mean, we got Deion Jackson that put up 37 last week.
Right. Hunter Champions, a wide receiver has Chris Godwin. BP is either going to have Alan Lazard or Devontae Adams.
We're going to say Devontae Adams, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, either way, I'm going to go with Billy's wide receiver. Even with the question marks that Billy was mentioning about Carolina's secondary, I think those guys are going to play. Like, they're all questionable. I think they're going to play. Is there anybody that's out in the secondary for Carolina right now, Billy?
Besides Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, well, we knew that one already.
Yeah.
I like Carolina's secondary, so I'm going to go with BP's unnamed wide receiver. At defensive line, Hunter of Champions has Trayvon Walker. He's honestly been kind of quiet this week, but we'll see what happens. BP's got Sam Hubbard again, because Sam Hubbard finally had a game over 30 when he wasn't on anybody's team, so BP's hoping he repeats that. I'm going with Trayvon Walker. I think he can get to. I think he's gonna get to damage. I don't know why I'm picking Trayvon Walker. Stop lying, Eddie. Hunter of Champions has Devondre Campbell, BP starting Bobby Okereke, and I like Bobby Okereke in this one for show. At safety, Hunter of Champions has got Rayshawn Jenkins, back-to-back 40-plus games. BP starting Buda Baker. Buda Baker's been struggling as of late. I don't like Buda Baker's matchup with New Orleans. I don't know. I don't know what their game plan is going to be.
If Jameis Winston plays, it's pick city.
Yeah, potentially. I think I'm gonna go Buda Baker. New York is going to run the ball a lot. Don't know if those tackles will get to the secondary. So I'm going Buda Baker. Hunter of Champions at flex is going Antoine Winfield. He's had back-to-back games with a sack, so that only adds to his value versus Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson got a Monday night game, primetime game. That's going to be a really, really good matchup. I'm going to lean Antoine Winfield. I think they're both going to go off, though. With that being said, I know I've kind of split these matchups pretty evenly down the middle. I'm going Hunter of Champions this week. I think, oh God, no, I'm not. Fuck. Hunter of Champions is tanking. He may not have more of these players when the weekend comes, so I'm going to go ahead and lock in my vote that VP gets the win. Even though I do like some of Hunter of Champions' current matchups.
I'm taking Hunter of Champions because Josh Allen being out. Like if I get a whopping shitty score, like nothing from Taylor Heineke, and I have like one of my players I'm expecting to do like really good, like Eddie Jackson or Bobby, one of them shit the bed, I'm done.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Because the only other, like, I'm only expecting like average games out of everyone. So if I get a boom or bust type of week, the busts are gonna hurt really bad without having Josh Allen.
Usually feels pretty good when I bust.
I walked right into that one.
It's like you're bombing in my bedroom.
All right, moving on. Jesus, Eddie. Good God, man. Oh, Jesus. All right. Steel Curtain against Step Bros Fantasy Co. So, Steel Curtain, Cody is starting Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Step Bros starting Marcus Mariota. In the real world, do we ever say this is close? Hell no. In fantasy, do we say this is close? Good God, Aaron Rodgers. You better be scared. Taking Marcus Mariota. Yeah, I said it.
You know what's crazy, by the way?
What?
That Green Bay has the most losses through 6 weeks that they've had at the end of the year for the past 3 years. They were 13-3 in 19, 13-3 in 20, and then 13-4 in 21. And now they're 3-3.
Yeesh. David Montgomery going against Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne's picked it up a lot in recent weeks. I'm excited to see what his young talent is giving us. Sorry. David Montgomery, he's been pretty solid. I mean, he hasn't done fantastic things with Khalil Herbert coming into the picture. I'm going to stick Travis Etienne in that one.
Hey,
Michael Thomas ruled out. Who was
Hey,
starting at receiver? What?
we need to talk about this. We need to make sure when this is over, we put in the chat for Cody to set his lineup because he started Michael Thomas last week and he was out. And Cody's a staple in this league, and so we need him to set his lineup.
Oh, that's funny because isn't Step Bros the other team that didn't set his lineup?
Yeah.
So both of these guys better set their damn lineups.
Yeah. Cody, set your lineup, buddy. I know you're not going to listen to this probably, but set your lineup.
Yes. All right. So we got Michael Thomas who's out. So Cody is starting Hunter Renfrow at wide receiver. I don't know how good I feel about that. Considering he's been basically obsolete. Going against Debo. I'm taking Debo Samuel. Let's see. Max Crosby going against Rashawn Gary. Max Crosby's been a stud this year. I'm going to Max Crosby. I got linebacker Shaq Thompson for Step Bros going against Roquan Smith. I got Roquan. Hufanga, who is questionable this week. He is in concussion protocol right now. If he does play against Kansas City, I feel like he's going to have a great game. Derek Forrest. My app just crashed. Eddie, pick me up where I'm at. Derek Forrest.
What about him? Versus Hufunga.
Yep. I don't know
What
how
about
good
him?
Derek Forrest is doing. I don't know.
Derek Forrest is a fucking backup.
Okay, I'm taking Hufanga, but Hufanga is questionable. I don't know. That one's a toss-up. Eeny, meeny, miny, Hufanga.
So who you going with, my man?
I said eeny, meeny, miny, Hufanga.
No, in the matchup, like the whole thing.
We didn't do
whole
flex.
Oh.
Von Miller's on a bye. So I guess he's flexing Josh Jacobs. Why are you not starting Josh Jacobs? What are you doing?
He's a big ETN fan, I guess.
Oh, he hasn't set his lineup. That's why. So Josh Jacobs going against Christian Kirk. Taking Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, he needs to set his lineup, man.
Yep.
Come on, Cody.
All right.
Don't-
So with that being said, I got. Ooh, God, this is a tough one, man. I think it's literally evenly split down the board. 1, 2, 3. I got Cody 4-3.
I'm going Cody as well.
If Cody sets his lineup, I got Cody.
I think he can still win even without setting it.
Jesus. You think so?
Yeah,
That's two players that he doesn't have. Possibly 3.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he needs to set it.
And he's out of the league, so it doesn't matter if he wins if he doesn't set it.
Yeah, so.
Come on now. All right. You got the next
All
one?
right. Peanut Butter Cup versus Buck Your Mother. I'd like to buck your mother with a peanut butter cup. Peanut Butter Cup's going with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, and Buck Your Mother's got Matt Ryan. I'm going Lamar Jackson. A down week for Lamar Jackson is better than an up week for Matt Ryan. We
Sure
got
about
Saquon
that?
Barkley. I'm sure about that.
53 last week.
That was Matt Ryan's up week. Fuck. Yeah, but Lamar Jackson. But you see, Lamar Jackson, his bad week is a 35. So Matt Ryan's bad week is a 2. Running back, Peanut Butter Cup's going with Saquon Barkley. Buck Your Mother's got Jeffrey Wilson. Jeffrey Wilson's had a really, really good year ever since What's-His-Face went down. But I'm still going to go Saquon Barkley. Peanut Butter Cup has Cooper Kupp on bye for wide receiver, so he's going to have to go with Juju. That couldn't have come at a better time because Juju was the number 1 target last week. Hopefully that continues for Peanut Butter Cup. And Jalen Waddle is starting for Buck Your Mother. Good week last week. We're still searching for the 77 he had against Baltimore week 2. And I'm going to have to go. I don't like Juju because I don't like, other than Travis Kelce, like Patrick Mahomes could throw one pass to every other receiver, and then the rest Travis Kelce. So I'm gonna go Jalen Waddle over Juju.
Waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle.
Peanut Butter Cup start Myles Garrett at defensive end. Buck Your Mother's going Rashad Weaver. Rashad Weaver has been not great. I'm going Myles Garrett. Linebacker Peanut Butter Cup's got Aluakan versus Buck Your Mother has Levante David. Levante David has a good matchup against Carolina. Aluakan's got a great matchup against New York. I'm going Aluakan just by a little bit. Peanut Butter Cup, Julian Love at safety versus Saquon Brisker for Buck Your Mother. Don't like the matchup for Brisker against the Patriots. I'm going Julian Love, baby. Um, and then at flex, Cameron Curl for Peanut Butter Cup, who is the person who's starting over Derek Forrest, by the way. And Buck Your Mother's got L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed continues to put up big numbers, and I'm not going to go against him, even though he's the guy who breaks the cornerback rule this year. I think I've said that before.
Yep.
So I'm going L'Jarius Sneed in that one. I think if there's any week to knock Peanut Butter Cup off his pedestal, it's this week with Cooper Cup being out. I just think he's got too many weapons. His team's too good, man. I'm going Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it, so I need Isaac to do it for us this week.
So you're going to go Isaac?
Go Isaac. Just because I'm rooting for him doesn't mean I'm picking him. I still got Peanut Butter Cup.
Dude, I already wrote Buck in the notes. So
I said go Isaac. I didn't say you're going to win. I'm cheering on the underdog, Eddie.
PB&J. All right. Go ahead.
It's not PB&J, it's just PBK.
Shut your whore mouth.
All right, now I got to talk about this shitty ass matchup with this Sandstorm Troopers team and whoever the fuck Austin the Sloth is. All right, the GOAT going against little boy Kenny Pickett, who is questionable with concussion protocol. I'm taking Tom Brady. Clyde Edwards-Helaire going against James Robinson. Ooh, James Robinson has been rough. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has also been rough. Oh my goodness. Based on matchups, honestly, I gotta take James Robinson. I like the Giants matchup better than the San Francisco matchup. However, I don't think either one of them are going to be great. Yeah, that's a tough one. Michael Pittman versus Terry McLaurin. I like Terry McLaurin this week. I think that him and Taylor Heineke are going to pick up where they left off last year. I know last year we saw a really good season from Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry is going to be back this week, week 7, with Taylor Heineke under center. Michael Pittman coming off a really good week as well. I think he's kind of finding his stride with Matt Ryan. This is a tough one as well. I like Terry McLaurin this week. I think he's going to go off, so I'm going to take Terry McLaurin in that matchup. Grady Jarrett going against Matt Judon. Matt Judon's been pretty consistent. Grady Jarrett, however, been doing pretty good. I like Grady Jarrett in this one. I think disrupting Joe Burrow is going to be a good thing that Atlanta is going to be trying to enforce, so that way he cannot make those throws downfield to his stud receivers. I like Grady Jarrett this week. I'm taking Grady. Linebacker Christian Kirksey for Sandstorm Troopers when it's Cole Holcomb. I'm taking Cole Holcomb. We have Jordan Whitehead, safety, going against Mike Edwards. Damn, I can't quit yawning. That's a tough one. I would have said before this week I would take Mike Edwards, but then he dropped at 8 last week. Did he get hurt or something, Eddie?
Week 5 he dropped an 8 against Atlanta, and then last week he was hurt. That's why he didn't play last week.
Gotcha.
He's also going against Carolina, which is not a great matchup for him, in my opinion. I think playing against Carolina is not great for a safety right now because we can't throw the ball.
Yeah, but they're going against Denver. Jordan Whitehead's going against Denver.
That's even worse.
It's just as bad. I've taken Mike Edwards because if we start Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield, the ball's they're probably gonna throw a pick. And flex, we have Kareem Jackson for Austin the Sloth. It's been pretty solid this year. Going against Devin White. Devin White has had a couple good games. He's had a couple bad games. Going against Carolina, I think he's going to have a good game. I think he's probably going to be the spy for Christian McCaffrey. And we'll probably throw it to Christian, I don't know, 22 times behind the line of scrimmage. So I expect Devin White to have a monster game.
That came out so salty. I don't know. 22 times.
I just said 22 because that's his number. I looked at a chart, though. For real. I looked at a chart. And a side note. Sorry. Got to have my Panthers rage real quick. So I looked at a chart. The last game P.J. Walker attempted, I think it was 20-something passes. We had 3 passes that were attempted beyond the line of scrimmage.
Sounds like a team that's not confident in their quarterback.
And one of them was completed. And it was for 1 yard. Every other pass was behind the line of scrimmage. If I find that graphic, I will show you. All right, back off my rant. Sorry, I'm taking Boston to Sloth.
Who do you think I'm taking?
Eddie's taking himself.
Nope.
Next.
I'm actually going with Sandstorm Troopers. I don't like my team this week. I'm very worried.
What the
But
shit?
I'm going
Are you
against
sick?
myself. All right, time to break down this next matchup, son. We got third leg versus Shuttlecocks. Third leg, potentially we'll have Devontae Adams, unless Billy has something to say about that. Anyway, Shuttlecocks is starting Dak Prescott.
He's gonna have Alan Lazard.
No, he's not. Third leg's not gonna have anybody.
Oh.
You're trading with Hunter of Champions.
Yeah. It's late. Shut up.
All right, quarterback. Shuttlecock's got Dak Prescott back. He doesn't have to start Commander Carson anymore. Third leg's got Jimmy Garoppolo. Ooh, keep breathing. I keep having hiccups. I'm going Dak Prescott at 1 and back. Shuttlecock's got Wendell Fournette. Third leg got Alvin Mara.
Please, God, stop.
I like Alvin Kamara's matchup way better than Leonard Fournette, so I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara. Shuttlecock is starting Mark Andrews, who is questionable right now. He does not practice Wednesday, but it says that he's getting a rest day, so he may have been able to be limited, but they just gave him the day off. Versus Tyreek Hill, I'm going Mark Andrews because he's the clear favorite target of Lamar Jackson this year. Clear. Shuttlecocks is starting Cameron Hayward at defensive tackle. Third leg's got Vita Vea. I like Vita Vea. He's had a oh well, never mind. I don't like Vita Vea at all. I like him as a real player in real life. He's disruptive, but I'm going Cameron Hayward. At linebacker, Shuttlecocks is going Denzel Perriman. Third leg's going Micah Parsons, who's been underwhelming this year. I thought he would have a great year. Going against Detroit, who will run the ball a lot. I think Micah Parsons has a good game, but every time I've said that, he hasn't had a good one. Denzel Perriman's coming off an injury. Had 36, but he needed a sack to get over 30. So I'm going to go Micah Parsons. Shuttlecocks is going with Jalen Thompson at the old safety slot. Third leg's going with Andre Cisco. I'm going to go Jalen Thompson. At flex, Shuttlecocks has got John Johnson. He's had a pretty good year. Third leg's going with Richie Grant, who's also had a pretty good year. I like Josh Johnston against that Baltimore offense. So I'm gonna go Shuttlecocks in this matchup. I think I really like his team, man. His team's just been performing this year. So
I take Shuttlecocks.
yes. Okay, next one.
The next one is Mr. 295.
You're so racist.
I am not a racist. Gosh, why do I always get accused of that?
No, it's because Zach's a shallow-minded person, and so he associates the fact that you have a southern accent with being racist.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell did I do?
All I
All
said
right.
was I don't like anybody but white people.
All right. Jiu-Jitsu Jesus going against Mr. 295. We got Jacoby Brissett going against Geno Smith. Both of these guys may lose their starting quarterback roles sometime this season, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I'm taking, based on matchups, I'm taking Jacoby Brissett because the Baltimore defense sucks. Running back, Kareem Hunt versus Austin Eckler. I got Austin Eckler. Wide receiver, Devin Duvernay versus T. Higgins. Both these guys second string receivers. I take T. Higgins. We got defensive tackle B.J. Hill going against defensive tackle Grover Stewart. Grover Stewart's been pretty consistent. B.J. Hill, great pickup off the waivers. If I didn't have to get a quarterback, he was mine this week. I like B.J. Hill against Atlanta. I like B.J. Hill against Atlanta. Grover Stewart, he has upside, but his scoring points are going to be sacking the quarterback, and against a Indianapolis offense, it's not going to be easiest thing in the world to sack Matt Ryan. They have pretty good offensive line. We have linebacker Alex Singleton, who put up 83 last week. Jesus, what did he do? All right, let me rephrase that. What did he not do? Versus Kayvon Thibodeau. Geez. Both these guys are very inconsistent. I guess I have to take Alex Singleton after what he did last week, man. And then we got Jonathan Abram going against Trayvon Diggs. So Trayvon Diggs has been up and down all season, of course. Not seeing exactly what we saw last year from the picks, but from Jonathan Abram, his score has decreased every single week. So we can't expect a ton from him either. Going against Houston, though, I'll give him some. I'll take Jonathan Abram. And then for flex, we have a wide receiver flex of Deontay Johnson for Jiu-Jitsu Jesus, going against a defensive line flex for Christian Wilkins. In that one, even though the scoring for wide receivers has been boosted, going against Miami is going to be a tough ask for Deontay Johnson and the Steelers. I like Christian Wilkins sacking Kenny Pickett. So I'm going to take Christian Wilkins in that one. With that being said, I got Mr. 295 in this matchup.
Yeah, me too. I'm going 295. And our last matchup of the night, we got Guardians of the Gridiron versus Barnyard. Guardians of the Gridiron's got his quarterback on bye, so he picked up Jameis Winston. That may change because Jameis Winston is available for Week 7, but may not start according to the news. Fake news. Barnyard is starting Russell Wilson. Well, I tell you what, son, I'm going to go with a quarterback to be named from Guardians of the Gridiron. A running back, Guardians of the Gridiron, is starting Ezekiel Elliott. Really, Peyton. Nice, at a boy versus Brees Hall. I'm going Brees Hall. He's become the clear number one in New York. I'm going Brees Hall in that matchup. Gridiron's got Michael Gallup at wide receiver. Going up against Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore is an intriguing start with Marquise Brown getting hurt, but I think Marquise Brown just gets replaced with D-Hop, and Rondale Moore doesn't have a great week. So I don't like either of these matchups. I'm going to go with Michael Gallup because he's not playing on a Thursday. Guardians of the Gridiron is going with Derek Brown at defensive line versus Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson's been terrible this year. Derek Brown's been good this year. I'm going Derek Brown. At linebacker, guarding the gridiron, going Fred Warner. He's had 3 straight weeks of 30 plus. He's starting to look like the Fred Warner we know and love. Barnyard's going with Quay Huaka. He's been consistently 10 points below what Fred Warner's at, so I'm going Fred Warner. At safety, Guardians of the Gridiron's going Kevin Bayard. Off a bye week, he's gotten some rest. Versus Derwin James. I'm going Derwin James. 2 straight 50 bombs. And then at flex, we got Jonathan Owens for Guardians of the Gridiron. I think I like that. Versus, Barnyard's got to replace Bobby Wagner, who's on bye. My guess would be that he would go maybe Ramondre Stevenson. It depends on if Damian Harris is back.
He could also go CeeDee Lamb.
He could go CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. Still got that hip issue.
If Keenan Allen plays, which I don't know if he will or not, but if Keenan Allen ever gets back on the field, he could definitely replace Rondale Moore with Keenan Allen.
I think if he goes, there's too many variables to figure this out right now, so I'm just going to have to go with Jonathan Owens. All that being said, I think Peyton just has a little bit too much for Barnyard. I'm going Peyton.
Yep, I got Peyton.
All right.
Yeah, Peyton's on a roll. I like Peyton's team a lot.
Unfortunately,
favored to win our division, of course.
Peyton's going to keep winning, unfortunately for you.
Yeah, I got to play him again. So maybe that's where I can turn it around. Maybe. Who knows?
Yep.
But I do know that it's time to call it a night. It's been fun. Appreciate you guys listening. We have this podcast is wrapping up, and we will catch you guys next week.
Yeah, if you listen this far, please drop a like. I appreciate you listening all the way through to my dick jokes. So yeah, we'll see you next week, and hopefully, when you listen next week, Eddie Man will be tied for the lead in his division, which would be pretty sick. Never done that before. Never been in that position. Although the most likely scenario is I wake up tomorrow and see that I lost on a score change to Billy. Then I break my phone.